So, Joseph, I'd like to backtrack a little and talk about the art of listening to life. So, in the art of listening to life, what we're really looking at, one of the aspects that we look at, is reawakening or awakening our ability to recognize all the messages that life is sending us on a constant basis. Life is constantly sending us messages, and the two terms that you use are the gentle calls and the intense calls. So we'll be getting into defining those a little more later. But the gentle calls basically are things that happen in your scenario, in your circumstances, in your situation, through whatever signs and images and coincidences and synchronicities that might happen. And then the intense calls are when it actually touches you in a more intense way, so it actually enters your body and can become a condition, right?
Exactly.
In chapter 2 of the book, because we're backtracking now, it's important to know what gentle calls and intense calls are, to have an idea about that, because we talk about it in the art of alignment. So chapter 2 is about alignment. Can you tell us more about what the importance of alignment is, or how that works?
Imagine that you are a good sailor and then you are very aware of that wind changes and current changes. And then if you are a good sailor, you will modify, you will change, adjust your
The rudder.
the rudder.
The rudder of the sailboat.
So we can say that if you are aware of that little things that happen in your life, you can adjust immediately this, your direction.
Right. Yeah.
So if you are a good sailors in our life, what we have to pay attention to? Your inner voice, your intuition, the gut feeling. These are examples of inner wisdom, but you also can pay attention what is happening in your scenario. I mean, I'm talking about coincidences or synchronicities. So again, we are talking about being connected with wisdom, that you can perceive this wisdom from inside of you, gut feeling, inner voice, your heart. Or you can perceive this from the outside wisdom, which is that synchronicities, coincidence, things that happen in your scenario. So when you get that wisdom, when you get that information, when you use that information, can be instantaneous.
So it's like the metaphor of the sailboat is that if the wind direction changes a little bit and you change the direction of your rudder and you adjust to that, then you continue sailing.
Yes.
That's dealing with a gentle call. Except recognizing it and doing something to correct, right?
And that happens in your daily basis. Anytime the life is talking to you. So this is the art of recognizing the call.
Recognizing those messages. So if a person, for instance, ignores those messages, ignores the flash, the intuition, the little thought they had, the heart impulse, ignores a coincidence, ignores that sort of thing, right? So if a person ignores those things on a continual basis, then that's like the sailor not adjusting the rudder to the wind change. So the wind changes direction, and you say, well, I don't want to change the position of my rudder. I don't
that makes any sense, right?
Right, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
For the sailor to say, I don't feel like it, I'm not doing it, what ends up happening is all of a sudden the sails start to flutter.
Yeah, but you are driving our life without paying attention to these important messages.
That's right. So paying attention to those messages are what permits us to make the adjustments necessary, to keep on sailing smoothly. Right? So those are the gentle calls.
Yes,
and
that's right.
And the more a person does not listen to the gentle calls or ignores them, then life will bring them back in a more intense way.
Yeah.
They'll become intense calls.
Intense call. That annoyance is not happening in your scenario, it's not an obstacle, a difficulty in your scenario. No, that happens in your body. You can call this a symptom. You can call this an illness or disease.
Mm-hmm.
I said you can call it. What you call an illness or disease
Right.
is an intense call from the soul.
An intense call. So we're really going to drill down into what the gentle call is and the intense call is. So just to backtrack a bit, chapter 2 of the book is the art of alignment. And the art of alignment is about being aligned with life, being aligned with what's going on in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about what is being aligned? How does that work?
A simple example for this to be aligned is if you think and you feel and you say and you do at the same direction. I mean, all your dimensions. We can talk about body dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
mental, emotional, energetic, and physical dimensions all together,
Right.
and with a sense, with a purpose.
Right.
So when you think and feel and say and do at the same direction with
Right.
a purpose, with a sense, you are completely aligned.
With congruence.
With
Right.
congruence.
Congruence is good. So what you're thinking, feeling, saying, and doing is congruent. It's all going in the same direction.
Uh-huh.
So misalignment then is
Is if you think in one way, in one direction, and feel at the other one, and say the third direction, and do a fourth one,
yet another.
completely disconnected about any sense.
Right.
So this is an example. I mean, very simple. If you are doing something in your life that you don't want to do,
Right.
or if you want to do something that you are not doing it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an example of
Yeah,
misalignment.
So for instance, a person, you think one thought about someone, but your feeling is let's say you have a bad feeling about that person,
Mhm.
and your thought will probably be more or less the same. But you say, "Oh, that's nice. That's a nice person,"
Mhm.
but what you think and feel are not
Mhm.
aligned with that. What you say, and then you say, "Yeah, let's go out for dinner together and let's go do this," but you really don't want to. So that's misalignment, right? You think one thing, feel another, say something else, and do yet something else.
This is this alignment or misalignment, and I am sure that you have many experience of this. But let's get more juice from this. Imagine you are talking with someone, and suddenly you have like a bad feeling, but your rational mind, your intellect doesn't understand that, but your body is saying you something. We are talking about simple levels of your body's sending you messages at different levels, or levels with the wisdom of your body showing you something. So you can ignore this, and even maybe you are not paying attention to your body, and you ignore this, or you maybe didn't notice this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you keep talking and you get making a deal with someone, ignoring that there is a knowledge, a wisdom that your body is telling to you. So
Mhm.
probably if you don't pay attention to that inner wisdom, that will create in the future like a discomfort, obstacle, a
Right.
problem.
Right, problems in the future because you missed the sensation,
Yes.
right? And that's the art of listening again, right?
Exactly.
If you have a very clear sensation that comes through your body and you ignore it, then yeah, there's going to be a problem with misalignment. It might not come out right.
Yeah, we're trying to drive our life only with the intellectual part of us. And this is a very little part of us.
Yes.
So there is wisdom that life is giving us messages in the daily basis,
Mhm.
anytime. So we can get that information, that wisdom, and you can drive our life in a smoothie, right?
Mhm.
Right, you say? You can drive your life in a smoothie,
In a smooth way.
in a smooth way.
I like what you just said about about the sensation and not paying attention to it, right? Because really, we're always talking about the art of listening to life, and so we always bring it back to that life is constantly sending us messages, and so we have to hear them. And if we're not paying attention, then we miss them. I think one of the things that you're talking about, you're really trying to say, is that there's universal intelligence in us, right? And
We are that.
we are universal intelligence. It's in all of us. One of the things you talked about earlier, it's not a privilege or something special.
It's natural.
It's actually natural, right? And so when we actually increase our ability or our sensitivity to hearing all these messages coming to us, we're tapping into our own eternal wisdom.
Yeah, so we are in tune with the life universe intelligence.
So we're in tune with it, and that's why I think that we call it, the art of alignment. But the art of alignment is also being in tune. And a guitar or a piano sounds so much better when it's in tune.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
So how do we, can you tell us more about alignment? We're made up of different dimensions, and what is alignment? We've talked about what you think, say, feel, do, but can you explain the alignment of our dimensions?
Yes, in that wonderful body that is an expression of the universal intelligence, that human body is gathering different bodies of different dimensions. So we are paying attention mostly to the physical dimension, even that we know now that the material part of the universe, of the body, of the planet Earth, is very little one.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about very little part of material world in all that we are able to see. But anyhow, we're paying a lot of attention to our physical body. I would like you to imagine, as a metaphor, the Russian dolls, the babushka dolls.
Right.
Imagine 5 dolls. And then every dimension of the body is one doll. And then we will start for the physical body, which is the inner doll, which is more dense, more material.
Physical.
So this is the physical.
Mm.
And next one, the second level, or the second dimension, is the energetic body. So you can imagine the energetic body around you like a bubble, a field of energy. Some people could see the aura.
It's called the aura. Yeah.
The aura. And another important thing about this different dimension of the body is there are hierarchy
Mm-hmm. There's a hierarchy.
of these bodies. So that means that the upper body has an effect to the inner body.
Mm-hmm.
So that also helps us to understand the different medicines or system of health or therapies. I mean that you can work at the energetic body without touching the physical body,
Mm-hmm.
and that will have an effect on your physical body.
Right. Like Reiki is one of those
For example,
therapies, right?
yes, people that are working with energetic body, energetic therapy, energetic medicine,
Mm-hmm.
the energetic body is even more important than the physical body. I mean, without touching the body,
Mm-hmm.
the physical body, you can get healing.
Right.
So let's make a step forward. Let's talk about the emotional body, the third body. The emotions also we are not able to see them, but they have an important effect. We can feel it very deeply. I mean, I can feel like a something in my
In your throat.
throat that
Mm-hmm.
don't make me able to talk.
Right.
Or maybe I can feel like a hole in my stomach or a weight in my chest,
Mm-hmm.
difficult me to breathe.
Right.
So we can call this emotions. So again, work or intervention of emotional body and emotional dimension will have an effect in our energetic
Mm-hmm.
body, on our physical body. So we are talking about different dimensions, the physical, energetic, and now the emotional dimension. So if you think that you have no choice than feel emotionally bad, you are missing something here. You forget a very important step because you are feeling a bad emotion and you think that you have no choice. But one step before, a moment before that you feel that bad emotion, you have to have done something. I mean, what? You have to perceive, name it, and create your reality. We are talking about the fourth level, or fourth dimension, the mental level. I mean, the same thing that could happen in your life, the same thing, the same fact. You could say that this is an opportunity, or this is a bad new or terrible thing. For example, you finish your job. This is a good news, this is an opportunity.
You get fired.
You get fired.
You get fired from your job.
You get fired, the contract finishes, whatever. This is an opportunity really to follow my dreams. But this is a really bad news. So no one else than you are naming and creating that reality. There's no one else outside. There is no one there that can tell you this is a good or bad news. You are doing this for yourself. This is your power. You miss this power.
Right. You're defining it. This is good news or an opportunity or it's bad news. That is defined by you.
Yeah. As you perceive reality,
It's the way you perceive it.
the way you perceive, you create this for real in your life. I mean, at the end, that happen in your scenario doesn't mean anything until you name it. And when you name it, that make it real. So when you name something as a bad news, you have no choice. You will feel emotionally bad emotions.
Yeah. So the mental body is having an effect on, again, an inner body, right? The mental down to the emotional, by the way that you define and identify this event, right?
So let's finish for this moment at the fifth body, at the fifth dimension, which is the spiritual dimension.
The fifth one is the spiritual.
Spiritual, you can say the soul of the spiritual dimension. And this body has an effect of all the other bodies. It has the upper body, the side body has an effect on all
the others.
The others' bodies.
Right.
So what means that? That anything that happens in your life and anything that happens in your body has a purpose. That what means that anything that happens in your scenario or anything that happens in your body has a purpose. And then you can be aligned with this purpose.
Right.
So we are explaining how work that different levels or different dimensions and how the outer body, outer dimension has an effect on the other ones.
Right.
So the mental has an effect on the emotional, and the emotional has an effect on the energetic, and the energetic has an effect on the physical.
On the physical. So in the art of alignment, it's paying attention to those five bodies, those five dimensions that we are, and making sure that they're all in agreement.
Yes.
Right? That there's congruence.
That's congruence. So let's check how we are, how is alignment in your life. What is our level of alignment? If you think in one way and you feel in another and you say in another and you act in a fourth one, we're disconnected from any sense.
Right.
You are not so much aligned, right?
Right. That's right. If you think, say, feel, do four different things.
So which is the practical part of this? We can talk about magic or we can talk about being lucky. When you are aligned, when all your dimensions are pointing in the same direction, when you think, feel, say, do connected with the purpose, you experimented purpose, objectives, you experiment like being lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So we're explaining which is what is behind being lucky, because
Right.
people say I am lucky and people say I am not lucky at all, but what is behind this?
Yes, what does that really mean?
What does it really mean? What is behind it? How you can be aligned?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are doing something in your life that you don't want to do, one part of you is pointing in one direction, another part of you is pointing in another direction, what will happen at the end in your scenario? So we are talking about how you can realize what is your level of alignment.
Mm-hmm. Because if you are thinking one thing and feeling another and doing another, then the way that shows up in your life is confusion.
Yes, when you are aligned, you experiment purpose, clarity, dreams in your life, and when you are not aligned, you experiment chaos and confusion.
Right.
This is what happened in your scenario. At the same level, when you are aligned, you experiment health in your body. And you are not aligned, you experiment symptoms, pain, disease, ailments.
Right, yeah.